Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Now, listen, because people get it fucked up based upon because they're lost in language and they're lost in man, and they think about it so hard that they're the only ones who end up being lost. So I need everybody to understand this. Unrefutable flights. This is unrefutable flights. Now, all religions, all religions is about astrology, and astrology is about the body. Now you're gonna get a lot of people who want to argue with me over words. They're gonna want to say, no, but no, the Bible is about history. No, the Bible. Listen, all that is gonna point to the same fucking shit. I don't give a fuck how lost you into words. I'm not gonna sit here and put too much fucking energy in no fucking word. We're gonna talk about what the fuck it is. This is what the fuck it is. Now, we want to talk about in the beginning. When y'all want to go to my videos and talk about the Genesis, and when I'm talking about in the beginning, it must have been something in a being. Listen, when you go do the Genesis story, right? The only explanation you're gonna get is a person who sat down and described what the sun was doing. In the beginning, it was darkness and void. You look up every day and see the sun in darkness and void. It took 7 days to create something. When the Earth do a 360, right? That's 24 hours, right? That's that, and then it did that for 7 days. It did 7 of those. So on the 7th day it rests. Why you think it called it Sunday? It was done. Sunday is when you worship the sun. The sun is at the end of its travel, the end of that 7-day week travel. You see what I'm saying? Anytime you hear, so when you hear anybody talk about 7 heavens, 7 hells, 7 levels, 7 all this, all it's equating 7. That all that is 7-dimensional, 7th being solar system talk. A solar system is a 7th dimensional being, and when we talk about 7, that's just and then it's really not that, because 7 is just like the 7 chakras or 7 planets. So 7 energy fields. All these are just different ways of explaining it, but this is what it is. It's just 7 energies that you have access to. You got this energy, which your consciously awareness to access that energy. Spirit or conscious energy. You got this energy to access. You got this energy to access. But you got hundreds of those. You just have ones who made themselves most respected. That's what, like the planets. They force themselves in that position. Same way when you go get a job or wherever you do, you got to force for that position. That's where you got that idea from. You got to be strong enough, motherfucker. Now, all that 7 shit and the 7 heavens and all that, that's just correlating the 7 chakras, 7 planets, or 7 totalities, or 7 energetic forces that you have to use. And people don't even know how to talk about it. But really, it's just it's like mental, love, hate. It's okay. It's conscious, communication, love, hate, wisdom, and nurturing. And when you understand that, those is level of consciousness, levels of energies. It's conscious, mental, as far as communication, love, hate, wisdom, nurturing, like caring. You see what I'm saying? And like reality, something that's tied to reality. It's almost when you could go back to the affinity gems, which is only 6. This talking about levels, and that's all that the shit is. But I don't care what religion you go to. I was here before all that shit. I was here before all that shit. I was here before all that shit. So when we talk about as far as pantheism and Taoism and Hinduism and all the old religions, they all pointing towards the planets and the relationships the planets had with each other. You know what I'm saying? Just because man came years later and had better ways of explaining the same shit, that don't mean we just close that shit off. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same shit though. I was here before all that. When I come here, I just realized that, oh, everybody is just putting words to the shit that I've been living. So when I come here, this is a heaven for me when I come here, because it's almost like a kid in a candy land, a kid in a store full of candy. I can just go and express myself in every kind of way here, in all shapes and forms. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what religion you is. The base premise of it is pointing to a planet. When you look at the sun, and then this is how you know you can't blame man for all your atrocities. How you can only blame the realm of reality you in. Because it's telling you how the sun created the realm of reality. It's telling you how we in a imagination. And we telling you how it's telling you how you make your own body. And it's giving you that on a grand scale of how everything is doing that. That's what religion is doing. You see what I'm saying? It's telling you in the beginning, it's telling you how a mind started making its imagination physical. It started building everything around its brain. And you the life that came within it. So you got someone who puts you in a hell. And they put you in their imagination for you to live there for forever. So every man gonna have that concept. Every man gonna have some kind of rising concept, something rising. Every man gonna have some type of creation concept. Every man gonna have some type of concept where they feel like they have to look higher to things. Every man, woman is gonna have this concept because this is the concept of the realm of reality of the being you in. But I'm here to tell you that that's not the full story. That's not the whole suggestive thing. And it takes an actual person who been to these realms of realities to can explain it. This is why I can say that you're in what kind of being you're in, and why you even facing all the atrocities that you're facing, and why you even look at it like that. Forever in this realm of reality, men and women will feel haunted in some type of way. They're gonna feel haunted and need to feel like something is oppressing them in any kind of way. Now when I come in this realm of reality, there are forms of doing it. Some have lower forms of doing it, some have higher forms of doing it. I'm trying to tell all y'all, the highest form of doing it in y'all realm of reality is the planets. The planets correlate to the being you are in. The planets and the stars that you are looking at is this the body and the makeup of the being you are in. So you can say, yeah, you're the being you're in. You can say, yeah, that's me. But in the totality of things, no, it's not you. Because I've been outside of this being. And I was able to look at this being. And to talk to it. The same way I can talk to beings down here. Like this. Now, it wasn't this specific being because of the age range. But it was a snake-like being like this. In my time, I was there. I'm actually older than this being we are in. My spirit, my conscious is older than the being we are in. The vessel I'm actually in is actually bigger than y'all overall. But my conscious gas, the idea of me, the shit I be talking in that realm came in this realm. So this is my version in this realm. But I got many different versions all throughout the universes and galaxies. And I know how to pick up on each brain. See, because when you get to a certain level and when you get to a certain dimension, it's almost like, for example, you got a lot of people thinking, see, the most perfect and balanced dimension is the fifth dimension. Because 0 is the all, 9 is the all. 1 played representations of the all, but just the all not knowing shit. It's like the all going into itself to experience all of itself. The ninth dimension is the all, but knowing all of self. So it's having the totality wisdom. It's having the totality experience. So you got two beings that come out of that. You have a overall that know everything. You have an overall that don't know shit. Now the overall that know everything, if a person is in a religious understanding of things, they're gonna look at the overall that know everything as a devil. The overall that don't know shit, that's trying to learn itself through and trying to get back to knowing itself, right? This is going to be looked at as a dumb and naive person with in a realm of reality, and in your realm of reality. But it's really supposed to be perceived as God. But this is the people y'all spit on. This is the people y'all look at as less. This is the people that come to y'all as less, but really they're more. You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Vibrations. Everybody is bouncing between 5 and 0 and 9. Now here's the thing. Since you in the third dimension, right? You're aspects of the God that don't know shit and trying to learn itself. So you're ascending. If you're on the spectrum of descending like me, then you come from the aspect of God that know everything, but you're coming in realms of realities of the smaller portions to be able to explain things in certain ways. So as a descendant being, you have to learn how to not get lost. As a descendant being, you have to learn how to get lost. You see what I'm saying? When you are ascending, you have to get lost in all forms of information. And that's how you find yourself. As a descending being, right, you have to learn how to not get lost so you can keep yourself. So when everybody are getting lost, you still understand all the aspects of how to bring their lostness to one, because that's actually where they're coming to anyway. You see what I'm saying? You have to live this shit to understand this shit. Don't just talk about it. Don't just be like, yeah, I probably can. It's hard to explain, but I probably no. If you did it, you know how to explain it like me. You see what I'm saying? Period. Now, here's the thing. The ninth dimension and the first dimension is like one and the same. But here's the difference. In the one dimension, look at it like this. You're a small, shapeless, formless, odorless gas that's trying to find a body. So when you go into a being, you start to surround yourself with all the liquefied energies of that being based upon how that being thinks and what it's consciously aware of. It start developing fluids. That fluid is you dying, but you're grasping for that to sustain yourself. So you're eating off that and you're building a body for yourself. So one of the first bodies you build for yourself is like protons, neutrons, electrons, aka sperm. That's the first body you build for yourself. That ain't even the first body. The protons and electrons and the ones that they got sperm, that's the first bodies. But all those fluids that come together end up becoming a sperm and a person. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like as a one-dimensional being, you're in that realm of reality, but you don't know shit. You experiencing all that subconsciously. So you're going through all those transformations and you building your brain and you're building remembrance. You're building your technology. You're building yourself. Right? And based upon your frequency vibrations, that's going to let you know how much you're constantly aware of. That lets you know where you came from. Wherever you came from, that lets you know how much you can receive. That lets you know what body you're going to inhabit. What positive or negative charge you're going to inhabit as a vessel, as far as you being a male or a female. Because the being you're going into already know how to have both of these charts. Same way you already know how to have male and female energies in you. To be able to create one. Whatever gas coming to you, whatever one their frequency is vibrating on, that's what they're going to come out and inhabit as a vessel. If it was a positive, it'd be a male. If it was negative, it'd be a female. Negative and positive ain't right or wrong the way y'all looking at it. Saying, well, I could say the pussy's a girl having a pussy vagina, right? The vagina itself is an energy, is a being that's staying in a location. A woman in this lower dimension, a woman just have the ability and have the chromosomes to have that body part. But that body part and what it means, it's a whole separate entity. See, so when people say God is like the black woman is God, y'all, you don't understand things. You're building a body. So for you to have this finger or you to have this thumb came from another solar system. It came from another realm of reality. This information was received in the being that you had, in the being that you are in. You see what I'm saying? But this finger and everything that it does, that consciousness itself comes from a realm of reality in its own realm. You gotta understand that. You picked up this trait to have a thumb because your conscious awareness traveled through that location. As a space group, all of y'all. And y'all gave that technology to the being that you are in to develop itself. Motherfucker. Now, when we want to talk about the one dimension and the ninth dimension, now the first dimension is the motherfucker being that don't know shit that's actually just ascending to the third dimension. So it's developing the remembrance. So once you inhabit all the vessels and you end up taking the biggest type of being there is, the star bigger than that sun, the sun bigger than that sun, the galaxy, the universe bigger than that, then you end up being a ninth dimensional being. That means you done learned everything consciously, experienced everything in these realities to the point you are totality, right? So here's the thing. It's almost like you're the same thing as when you were super small. It's the same thing when you were super big. But really, it's just you're super small again, but you have all the brain matter to know that's what's going on. You're consciously aware of that now. It's not just happening subconsciously. You're consciously aware. So how things look as if you was just a small, odorless, shapeless gas to get all your bodies as being a sperm and being a man and being a star and being a sun, and then you just learning to do all these things and experience it in it from not knowing it as ascending. Once you reach your ninth dimensional being, it goes in reverse. It's like you're the one dimension, but since you're consciously aware of it now, it seems like it's big. It is big though. You see what I'm saying? But you being in the third dimension right now, right? And you looking at the smallest shit, like the one dimensional shit, and you're looking at it like you're big compared to it. That's because you're just on your level of ascendant. But once you reach the ninth dimension, and then you perceive all the largeness you can get, if everything large in a totality of that life, y'all really all small again. It's just like you really all small. And it's like you're doing the same thing that you was doing in the one dimension to the ninth dimension, it's just you're going backwards. And it's really like you're playing the vibration scale yourself. So all the existences in your world that's vibrating in the smaller and larger scales is the totality of you. So when we want to talk about the overall being, it's your ability to become nothing. And nothing is truly nothing. Truly is something. Nothing is no thing. That means something that has no shape, no form. It's not a thing. So this is where you get nothing coming to nothing. People ask the question, how can nothing come from something? Because your idea of it is wrong. And you've never been in. Now, I've been in realms of realities close to the overall. I even been shot out as sperm as the overall, but I didn't go into a woman to be able to have that experience. Or not, I ain't gonna say a woman, because it's not how y'all look at it like it's looked at here. There it's looked at like fields. A field. I didn't reach a field of existence, a field, a realm. And existence is dealing with creation. There is not really dealing with creation the way y'all look at it. It's not like it's something's creating something. It's just a field. And this field has certain parameters. And it's not an outside of it. It's almost like saying when you reach a ceiling, but it's not looked at as a ceiling. It's looked at as a parameter. And this parameter is being built based upon experience. So it's almost like a ceiling there that don't necessarily mean it's a ceiling. It's like a ceiling there. So it's something. It's a parameter. You can't go past it, but it's not a ceiling. It's like a parameter, and the parameter is constantly being extended, but it hasn't been extended yet. So it's like it's a field that has parameters, and even though the only way I can explain it to y'all is that parameter is like a ceiling. That's the only way I can explain it. But the parameter is not a ceiling. It's just that what's beyond that parameter haven't been made yet. It haven't been beyond it. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? That parameter haven't been made to know it was a parameter yet. But since you can consciously understand that a parameter can be made, that gives you the ability to always be able to create a parameter. But see, in this reality, creation ain't looked at as create. It's not creating yet. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm wise enough to tell y'all I'm leaving my range now. But everybody in this realm haven't even been in that range. But if you listening to me, Archangel Uriel, now, you have the possibility to get to that range now. You see what I'm saying? Now, I can explain that range in the most widest range in any realm of reality in this being. But I know I know that if I go out of my range, that some shape or is going to be in some way, shape, or form, that outer range is going to play in my life to sit me on my ass. And it's going to be through, and in my existence, it may play out through a person, place, or thing. But that no thing, that nothing, that come into something, that come into a shape, way, or form, will make sure it come into any shape, way, or form in my life to make sure it sit me on my ass. That's when you really understand it overall. You don't have to tie any religion to it. You don't have to tie any theology to it. But what you should understand is that any parameter, any religion, any spirituality, any language, any man, any atheist, anything that's in the realm of reality, in the parameters, is part of the parameter. And until you understand all those parameters, is when you even have the possibility to give the overall parameter an idea of making more parameter. See what I'm saying? I'm on the path of extending more parameter. And to even go into what I think I should go into, but not for this video. For me to even go into that, y'all really truly understand what I mean when I say I'm Dolo the Pilot Man. I'm Flight Boss, and why I always seem like I got so much pent up energy, no matter what time of the day it is, and why do I be expressing to y'all the shit I express to y'all about don't be just trusting everything. Don't just be looking at the benefits of something giving you. That's almost like a person who may be using you. They giving you all the benefits in the world. You're gonna sit and think back and be like, hold on, something's up here, something not right. I'm just here to tell you, why stop there with just people? Go there with the stuff that's above you. Go there than what's higher than you. You're not being no devil. You're not being no angel. Shit up. The realm I'm talking about, the places I've been to, that those ideas of devil and angel are lower. Just for me to even look at it, and I have to be brought down to a realm of reality of looking at something as that's Lord. That's Lord. So y'all concepts of having lords and being Lord then and praying and having blessings, y'all need to stop that. You see what I'm saying? Blessings. We do not be less. And you got the Moors out here. We don't really want to be more like that either. We need balance. That's like eating too much. Taking more than what you can, being greedy, being a pig. You can't handle all that. You see what I'm saying? Then you have to be careful with praying. Because when you pray, you're agreeing to the terms and conditions that you are a prey. And there's no such thing as a prey without a predator. So you are agreeing to the terms and conditions that you need a predator in your life. I don't care what your outlook about it. Intentions is everything. And your intent mean everything. But you need to pay close attention to your intent. If your intentions is to pray, and you truly don't know what your intentions of praying is about, that your intentions is going to be what it is. And when you have a universal being out here picking up your intentions, it's always going to give you what you ask for. And then when you get in situations in your life being like, damn, why I'm not getting what I'm asking for, you are getting what you asking for. You just truly do not know what you asking. You know what I'm saying? People play this dominion game and things of that nature. Look, people who took an authority over, right? That person who took authority over them, the universe will always balance itself out. The person who took authority over them, check this out. That's still a good thing. You know why? Because the person who's being taken advantage of, that's the way that the overall had to come into their life in order for them to realize that they need to stop getting taken advantage of. So if the overall had to come into that person's life in that shape or form of a person that looked like they're oppressing that person, then it must have been a reason your ass is getting oppressed, because that oppression is what's going to wake your ass up for you to fight against that. So even if you kill that shape or form, you truly are not causing any unbalance, because the true overall know what it's doing. This is what we talk about parameter. This is what we talk about the real mind of God. This is what we talk about the consciousness of an overall. The moment we start talking about spirits, what got dominion, the moment we start talking about Christ, the moment we start talking about something rising, y'all got all that knowledge from religious and man. You cannot truly tell somebody else that all they got is from man, and that's all they knowledge that they got, when and you talk about you pulling your information from life, when you have truly not experienced any real life. I'm a being who truly experienced that. You want to my energy is like this because I can't believe somebody, it's almost like somebody is in God's face and they telling God they don't know God. Motherfucker, is you crazy? Nigga, I'm just Archangel Uriel, but I can guarantee in your world I am God. Because the perception and the reality that you put on God is way lower than any kind of being I was around. And we don't even say we overall. Is you crazy? You see what I'm saying? Now, we need to understand this. As far as my parameters, you have no right in no realm of reality to oppose or judge my parameter. Your range ain't big enough to do that. I have no choice but to let my child just speak out of their ass. But you know, me and my soul group, we understand this. Us as a source, our mass is so big that we are the sun to a whole realm of reality of motherfuckers. A whole life. You know what I'm saying? We are a source. We are one. We are a soul group. We are a realm. And us as one, when we as one go to the overall, we add parameter. We add distance. We add range. We make the overall feel good that we was inside it. We make the overall feel good. It's our intent. The reason why we do what we do. The reasons and the meanings and the intent that we give behind our purposes mean everything. So when we go as one with the overall, we just one. And the overall be like, man, you got some good ass intent. You got some good ass purpose. I fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? We add parameter. That's almost like having a child, and you got a child that got all these capabilities. It make you feel good, don't it? It make you feel like, yeah, this is for me. That's how the overall want to feel. That's how the overall like feeling. That's the type of channeling we need to channel. We don't need to be channeling all this disgraceful energy. I hate being here, or oh, we shouldn't be here, or we should do this, we shouldn't be lost and doing that. No, overall, I don't feel like that. This is about us. The overall want us to feel like us. This is about us. This ain't about us and them. This is about us. We is them. When all these people was talking about, oh, you should be scared of the reptilians. You should be scared of the grays. Then you got this people on this end. Oh, that's all man talk. That's all. Nigga, listen, this is all us. This is us. What are you talking about? This is us. Let's use all that shit. This is us. We all is one. Let's have a big galactic party, and I guarantee you, we'll start communicating with other races too. We'll be everything will appear closer. The better the better the rapture we know how to do, things appear closer. The periods in the Bible, these motherfuckers, the planets was actual closer. You think the sun is giving off heat? That's just because of the realm of realities that y'all put behind it. It was a time that Earth was this goddamn close to the sun, and this goddamn close to Mars. They was almost bunched into each other. You could see these motherfuckers to the point that you do hear their voice and shit like that as ascended beings. And these motherfuckers, the heat that the sun was giving off wasn't imagined the same. The illusion around it wasn't the same. So the distance that it can have from the distance that you was at or whatever location or plantation you was on was a lot closer. So you was able to understand it. So when you got a being that close to you to tell you something, hell yeah, you can remember that shit and write that shit down. See what I'm saying? But y'all had got so far away from it, and y'all range have got so closed in, and y'all created an external range. The smaller you make your range, the larger and extended the actual range externally going to be. So we have created, not, I don't read them terms and conditions, but you guys have created so much distance between yourself and the actual overall that everything that y'all could perceive seems like it's spreading out. Shit, you could go look at fucking scientists in NASA. They'll tell you that the fucking universe is expanding. This is how much y'all are separating yourself, and y'all really think y'all getting close. But really, y'all from my dimension, it just looked like y'all playing a fifth dimension and a vibration from a knife in one dimensional game. But y'all playing it on the y'all stuck in the vibration of the line of events of spreading out. Y'all never experiencing the coming in part one. Man, I've been in so many realms, man. Like I wish I could just like I come with this earth and God give me all these abilities and like I want to cry right now. I cry right now because I'm in so much joy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how to do that? I cry on camera in front of y'all. Like, this is how I feel, man. For real, this is pure joy. Don't let nobody tell you can't learn from this. You can learn by learning how to cry. Learn how to cry just by being in joy. Don't just learn how to have tears come from your eyes from just because you in pain or something like that. You could use any chakra. You could use any will. All these are like eyes. It just so happened that I know how to cry from my first eye, my third eye. Learn how to cry with those vibrations. You know what I'm saying? There's so much knowledge in there. It takes you to so many places. These places, the beings you're conversating with, don't deal with language. It don't deal with that kind of language. It don't deal with that kind of communication. And when you start to learn from these beings and start to understand from their world, you can't wait to bring that information down here. You can't wait to explain that to somebody. Like, look what I learned. I'm not learning from y'all world. I'm not pulling from y'all world. I'm pulling from a whole nother world. Look from the world I'm pulling from. You know what I'm saying? Feel good, man. All my chakras is lit right now. This is the best feeling in the world. You don't need nothing. You should have said you don't need nothing. Like, this is the best fucking feeling in the motherfucking world. This is truly being tapped in. You have to know how to show this shit. You have to truly let go. Truly, truly. Give it all. Give it all. You see what I'm saying? Even a person with ego, give them what they want. Because you know, if that's what makes them feel good and you know you from a higher realm, you give them that. We want to make sure everybody is in their state that they need to be. So they can just be. And the better everybody just can be. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Y'all never really been here. You ain't really been here. You haven't. Don't stop talking to me about shit. Nigga. Where are my real niggas out there? 3167 on my shit, my nigga. Dark Lord, keep your sound. That shit, nigga. For real, nigga. That shit feel good, man. And it feel good when I see other people on it like that, too. So when I see that, energy always attracts to the same energy. I have no choice but to reach out. I got no choice but to connect. When you truly tapped in, you got no choice but to tap into every fucking thing that's in it. The whole sense of real electricity, real spark. You know what I'm saying? Real spirit. You know what I'm saying? Roll me another motherfucking blunt, nigga. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn. Air. Like I said, I'll be already high. I need weed to come down. That's the only way I can even deal with you motherfuckers. Cause I stay in this state forever. And the moment one of you fuck niggas come in my face, you fuck niggas call me or something like that, it's all that again. Y'all brought me back down to fucking reality. So I need to get high in y'all reality. We're really in my reality, it brings me down. They better just place, man. God damn, RJ, Uriel.